All right, thank you so much for staying with us. We're still looking at the top business stories with Charles Fakroha, iBrandTV senior analyst. So we're talking about the prime lending rate, the fact that it has shot up due to the fact that the MPR also has been increased. But also the maximum lending rate increased to 28.14% in November 2022 from 28.06% reported by the CBN in October 2022. And then interest on saving deposits closed November 2022 at 3.93%, highest so far. We're just saying highest figures.
Yes,
help us interpret
it
all
has
of
to
this.
be highest because you have your MPR at 16.5. So every other rate will follow suit from there, and there will be increase, and that's what we are seeing. You can see saving rate is about 4%, and that means if you save, you are getting 4% per annum. Okay, so you're even discouraging people from saving. Instead of savings now, they might want to invest their money in other investment vehicle that will give them the better rate.
Isn't that detrimental even to the banking sector?
One, yes, in a way, it's detrimental to them because if more people don't want to save, of course, where would the banks now have funds to now lend to the real sector to kickstart the economy or for their productive purpose? So CBN needs to look at the whole process holistically, because when you are increasing rates like this, of course, that means you don't want some businesses to survive. Because the cost of fund becomes too high. We are seeing about over 28% as
maximum lending rate.
If I don't pray that the CBN does their next MPC meeting and there is another rate increase, of course, you expect that to also go up to, but I don't think they want to do that for now because this is really high. But again, you cannot just tie that alone in Nigeria. If you look at what is happening globally, the US has their highest inflation rates, even the UK. So there is a lot of issues going on in the global economy. And of course, but I also believe that our own economy is local, though we are tied to the global economy. We should look inwards in terms of saying that the average business person cost of fund is not too much for them not to be in business.
So it means that all of this will definitely reduce the buying power of the average Nigerian and then also increase the prices of goods and services.
Of course, because if the cost of production has gone up, well, the average manufacturer will increase his price to meet up his cost and make some profit. And of course, we're already seeing it. You can see the prices of even common items going up. We're just
we're expecting more increases in 2023.
Of course, we're already in 2023. We'll see these increases. The only way is we need to increase our production. We need to increase our revenue drive. If we have revenue coming in from non-oil sectors and all that, but how do you drive that non-oil sector? Production, how do you drive it? You must not only even rates that we're looking at, energy costs, and generally the business environment, security. This one variable, this rate we are just one variable for the businessman.
It looks like a very precarious situation because there are indications that the MPR might be increased further at the next MPC meeting.
What? CBN
because the inflation figures aren't going down.
Not going down. The only way, we have said here that it is cost push inflation, not demand pull. So that means...
But they aren't looking at it that way. They're handling it like it's cost push.
Okay, monetary policy. And that's why we keep advocating that there must be a balance between monetary policy and fiscal policy before you can manage the economy very well. Just using one aspect will not manage the economy maximally. Yes, CBN will do what they want to do, but there should be collaboration with the fiscal part of it for us to see the benefit. Yes, we need to tighten our belts very well, but at the same time, what I think we should be doing now is to see how we can reduce energy costs, increase production, go into farming more, encourage people to go into exports, because we need to earn this foreign exchange. At the same time, tax, which is the fiscal aspect of it now, government need to be sincere in terms of generating revenue from tax. We need to ensure that all the taxable adults and companies should pay tax, appropriate tax that they are supposed to pay, because it is only the workers that are actually paying tax. Some businessmen, they make so much money, they are not paying tax. And it's so unfortunate that even some organizations, private organizations, that you have 20, 30 personnel working there, they are not being paid. They are not paying a payee. That's pay as you earn. And for me, that is criminal. Is it that the tax authorities or the owners of those companies don't know that once you have a company, you register it, you are doing business, you should pay government tax. You deduct from your workers and pay to government. Some don't even deduct. The worst of it, some people
those that deduct, so that's
remitting. So you can say, so we need to improve our tax generation.
Well, let's hope that the Federal Revenue Service, the name has been changed now, and they're also changing their executive board of directors. So we hope that these are the things they will address.
Because we need that to improve our economy.
Well, on electricity tariff now, to the next story, we see the Minister of State for Power, Godije Diagba, saying he is not aware of the indiscriminate tariff or the increase in tariff imposed by Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission on consumers. A lot of consumers have been complaining, especially the Ikeja Electricity Distribution Company, saying that the tariff has increased, the amount they have to pay is now more, and it's not as if the power supply has improved.
Okay, let's look at it. A Minister of State for Power is telling us that he's not aware that the Electricity Commission has increased tariff. Now, let's get it clear. Has the tariff been increased? Yes or no?
Well,
if you ask me, I would say it is yes. Now, what does the law says? They can review this tariff, and once you are reviewing, stakeholders will be aware. So if
isn't there a duration? Isn't it like 6
about
months?
5 years or thereabouts?
Or 5 years?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
You'd review generally, not only tariff. You review all the operations and all that. Yes. And maybe
but they've like increased it. I recall last year there were complaints about the indiscriminate increase also, and right now they're already increasing it again. It's looking like there's no
this increase we are saying now.
Law regulatory.
The Minister of the Federal Republic is telling us he's not aware, and it's the Minister of Power, and he's not aware that tariffs are being increased or not. It tells us again, this current government, their attitude towards governance. The last time was CBN governor and the finance minister, I'm not aware. This one has come up again. So are you telling us that there is no coordination among these government agencies? Yes, there's no doubt. Tariff have been increased. I'll speak personally. Tariff have been increased. Electricity tariff have been increased. Yes, you normally if you buy maybe 5,000 that will last you 2 months before, might not last you up to a month any longer again. Yes.
So where did the increase come from? Is it that NEC just went on without carrying the ministry along, or is it that there's no coordination? What's going on?
That's my point. Is there no coordination among the commission, the minister, and of course other stakeholders before you come up with that kind of increase? But again, let's just look at it this way. The minister said he's not aware. So probably maybe officially it has not been increased. But people consuming it have seen that there is an increase. So we need to have an official statement on this. Again, it only goes to show why the average Nigerian citizen will continue to distrust this present government. And then you are not transparent in all things you are doing.
There's no reporting system in such a way that consumers can lay their complaints and get speedy feedback.
No, there's a communication channel you report to.
How commission. Effective is it?
Yes, you report to the commission.
Because this has been going on for a while, and consumers have been complaining.
The commission that consumers are supposed to report to is a commission that is now
not aware.
No, it's the minister is not aware, but the commission, they are now saying the commission has approved the increase, while the minister is not aware. So again, it goes to show lack of coordination. That is what I would just say. Lack of coordination among the government agencies. It's sad, because electricity power is something that we all need to kickstart the economy. And if, imagine the cost to businesses need to plan. If their cost of electricity before they were paying maybe $1 million plus, or just say ₦1 million naira, would this increase that we pay maybe up to 2-3 million? Is going to affect their production cost. So, and that is why for you to increase, there needs to be collaboration. Stakeholders must be carried along. In fact, if I was a minister, then I will not make that kind of public statement. Yes. If I'm not too sure, I will rather confirm from the commission before coming out to say I am not.
But isn't this what we see all the time? You talked about the one that happened between the CBN and the Minister of Finance. But all of these issues, maybe we should even look away from that. Why should they increase indiscriminately without any cause to the stakeholders informing or letting the consumers know why they need to increase?
This president, okay, first of all, this discourse, they are saying government has no business being in business, so they privatize. Now, some person will tell me, even before privatization, things were better. Compared to now that you have even privatized, it's in the hands of private persons. And it's like, maybe you sold to those who don't really have the core competence, the finance to run this business. And government has even spent over 3 trillion on this discourse. On this discourse, and yet, we are not even seeing the increase in power. So what does that tell us? And if, as a minister in that ministry, over 3 trillion has been spent, and Nigerians are not even seeing the power, then of course, something needs to be done.
Yes, but a lot of stakeholders have been calling for a review of the privatization, saying that it probably wasn't looked into properly, that maybe they should go to the roadmap and begin to re-strategize. Maybe the people who were sold to were government allies, and that there are people who do not even understand. You just said that too, that they do not understand how the power sector should run. Don't you think that some form of review should be done?
I agree. It's long overdue, that review. But my concern is, if government has sold these assets to private individuals, does it mean that the government did not even do their due diligence, that these investors are capable of bringing their own funds to run these companies, give Nigeria the needed power, and of course, price electricity correctly? We won't quarrel with that. But it's even irritating that government will still need to fund them again.
But the discount
I sold something to you.
Lack of funds.
Yes, I sold something to you that you are going to start operating it, and you are now coming back to me again. I'm still funding you. Then what did I sell to you? Why is government spending so much money on power? Meanwhile, you said this has been privatized. So for me, I agree with that review, holistic review. And if they can discover that some of these discos, so-called discos, that they can no longer operate, then I think those assets should be removed from them. And
why so-called? Because
if you say you are a disco, you are an investor, they have sold these assets to you, then you should be able to deliver. Exactly.
Apparently, there are still a lot of shady things.
A lot of things going on, you're not even aware. So, and that's why that review is necessary. And if those that are not capable, the core competence is not there, the finances are not there, then we should now give it to those who we believe.
But apparently that's no longer in the hands of this government, because they have just about 5 months.
The government is a continuum.
In Nigeria, is it?
It's a continuum.
Is it a continuum?
At least privatization was done by the previous government, not this government.
Yeah, so, but I'm saying that when it comes to getting some improvement in for instance, this particular government was supposed to ensure that this privatization was effective.
Exactly.
But we've not seen that happen.
That's the truth. We've not seen it happen, and that is why Nigerians, we need to shine our eyes very well. Election is just by the corner. If we just want delivery of service. For me, I'm not interested to who and who you have sold the assets to. What we want is deliver power to us, and we'll pay appropriately and make use of the service. Like you said, you are not giving up the service. You are still increasing the tariff. Then on what basis is that? Yes, if you have told us cost of producing it has gone up, let Nigerians be aware. And so that we know that, okay, because your cost of producing this electricity has gone up, then this is why you are increasing your tariff. The average consumer will understand. As long as it gets that service, it gets that product, and is able to use it. And not now that, like we used to say, the government loan has become the alternative, the standby. you have to generate your own private power. And most Nigerians are going into solar now. I know currently that is what people, so they just use the discos or the NEPA or whatever
as the backup. Well, let's move on to the next story. Coming from the oil and gas sector, President Buhari has now ordered security agencies to eradicate crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism in the Niger Delta before May 29. Looks like he wants to, have a clean slate before he leaves office.
It's very funny that it is when a man wants to leave office, just a few months to go, it's now glaring on him that yes, he has to do what you cannot do for the past 6-7 years. In less than 6 months now, you're now ordering the security agencies to, yes, I'll support him. Because
but do the security agencies need the order to do the needful? Do they need him to tell them what to do before they...
You are correct. They don't need that kind of order. But he's the commander-in-chief. And he has the right to give orders at any time he wants to give the order. And that's why he has given out that, look, before May 29, please eradicate oil. Then we saw the disgrace. We saw the monumental thefts that was going on in that sector. And as I speak to you, Navy will tell you they arrest one vessel, one ship, they blow it off. What's all that? We want to see the thieves, these people who are taking our collective commonwealth, our asset, and sell. What about those who are buying it at the high sea? What has happened? Today we want to see them. Not a commander-in-chief coming to give one military order. Please, before May, I don't want to see 1 liter of crude being stolen. What I want to be stolen before. So let us get serious. And
yes, the Tompolo contract, surveillance contract, it reviewed some pipelines, didn't it?
Yes, it reviewed, and of course we saw that when they started working, we saw an improve in our production, and you can even see that what OPEC is telling us that we have increased, because of the reduction. Yes, I think that contract should go on, but at the same time, if some persons have been arrested, we want to see them prosecuted because it's a criminal, it's an economic crime. This is our collective, and you can see how our budget, we're not even sure because talking of over deficit of over 10 trillion. So we need to improve the revenue side. Budget is not an expense for government, it's also a revenue aspect. How do we get this revenue to fund this our budget and see that things are okay for Nigerians? So I will also employ the security agencies. You know your mandate. Your commanding officers are there for you to do the job. Ensure that do not collaborate with the oil theft people, because
there have been rumors.
Yeah, not even rumor.
Corporate.
This is national television. I can say it authoritatively. While they were doing promotion exercise in the Nigerian Navy, where they promoted some commodores to Royal Admiral, the chief of naval staff expressly said it, that these officers that have been promoted comes with a lot of responsibility. Please do not collaborate, connive with oil theft. If a naval chief, a security expert, is saying that when his officers have been promoted, that tells you, because he is aware of so many intelligence information coming from the marine sector. So if he is making that statement, then he knows what he's talking about. Charging his men. Yeah, charging his men. These are rare admiral, 2-star generals in the Navy, telling them that, look, please do not connive with oil theft people. So that means in the past, there have been connivance between security agencies and the oil thieves. These are just criminals, and we are treating them as if with kid gloves. And they should be treated as thieves, arrested, prosecuted, and whatever proceeds they have made from their illegal activities should go back to the coffers of the federal government, so that we will know how to
well, let's see what happens before May 29, as directed by the commander.
Then after May 29, what happens?
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Okay.
Well, for still coming from the oil and gas sector, the rise of 120,000 barrels per day in the OPEC production has been traced to a rebound in Nigerian oil production in December. I recall that
Yes.
in December they said there was an increase to about 1.6 million barrels per day for oil production, and that was attributed to the recovery in the oil pipelines,
Yes.
according to all the contract, due to the contract awarded the Tompolo Security Service.
Okay, not to Tompolo, a company owned by Tompolo.
Oh, what's the difference? Anyways, let's review this. The fact that it looks like there's now a boost in the country's oil production.
Yes, and that's why analysts like us will say, well, kudos to Tompolo's company and kudos to the security people working with him, and of course the collaboration by the naval forces and other security agencies. You can see that when you give security agencies that matching order, they know what to do. You can see collaboration now. We are seeing our production quota being increased and we are selling more. We are making more revenue. But in the past, what happened? People just siphon, they go and sell, the money goes to their private pockets. Now, well, somebody will tell me that on the lighter note, that if you tell a cat to take care of fish, then that cat most likely will know how to prevent it and all that. You know, whatever you say or not, whether you agree with me, Tompolo's company has done a great job. For us to discover some of all those pipelines that are being piped, you know, and we are blocking all those leakages, and we are seeing an increase in our production quota. It shows that we can even do better than what I know. The budget is also projected as 1.6 million barrels per day. And I think
do you see us achieving that?
With this kind of collaboration, and I believe and I hope it is sustained, you know, people do not begin to think of their own personal pockets.
Do you see it being sustained?
Yes.
Especially as we're changing, government is changing hands.
No, of course, I see it being sustained because the new
think the new government will continue paying the security company?
No, of course, because I mean, if you are seeing the good job being done by that security outfit, and of course advice from their own government security, and say yes, the company is doing a good job, we are collaborating, and we are seeing the increase, then of course,
so do you see us also,
I will want to continue that contract.
Do you see us also meeting up with the per quota?
Yes, we will meet with that quota as long as this collaboration continues and government becomes more sincere and transparent, no matter the government that comes in. And of course, we in the media will not rest. We will continue to hold them accountable. I will continue to talk about it because at the end of the day, it's for the good of all Nigerians.
Oh, well, that's a very good place to leave it. Thank you so much for your time on the show. As always, Charles Fakroha, iBrandTV Senior Analyst, and have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
All right, still to come after the break, Nigeria's rice production is estimated to fall by 7% in the marketing year beginning October through September 2023. Now, let's look at the factors responsible for this and what it portends for the consuming economy. Well, this is our focus in the next part of the show. We'll be right back. Stay with us.